So let's be honest, guys. We all get tired of playing these decks. Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to talk about a card called STARLITSEER. Today's goal is to decide whether or not STARLITSEER deserves a slot in our deck list. STARLITSEER is a 2-mana 2/3 from freljord, with the ability, when you cast a spell, grant the top ally in your deck +1/+1. Overall, he has great stats for his mana cost. He actually has a very snowballing mechanic that can lead to any minion being a big threat. Some of the downsides of STARLITSEER is that he is a very specific card that needs to be played with spells. This can be a problem because you might end up trying to build your whole entire deck just revolving around STARLITSEER.
Best not ruffle our feathers.
Okay. Hey, big brain, big brain. Anyways guys, seriously, there are some actually really good decks you could build with STARLITSEER. So there's already been two pretty popular decks revolving around STARLITSEER. One is a Teemo deck that uses the synergies between STARLITSEER and Puffcat Peddler, which plants mushrooms in the enemy's deck when you cast spells. And the other deck being this Fizz deck. So with this Fizz deck, the only two minions in the entire deck is Fizz and STARLITSEER. Other than that, all you have is spells. There's also cards like Double Trouble and Jailbreak in here to give you minions, but those are the only minions you get in this deck. And it actually ends up being pretty fun. So the objective of this deck is to keep Fizz alive and use STARLITSEER and cards like Sheer Spoils to buff up Fizz and your other STARLITSEERs. I actually tried this deck out for myself and it actually being a lot of fun. Here's a clip of that right now. So in this match, I was in a pretty bad situation. All I had was my STARLITSEER and I was facing a Yasuo. I used what cards I did have and I played Jailbreak. It ended up giving me a 2/1 minion. My best bet was to use Parlay and shoot my own minion so I could use Share Spoils. And I was hoping that after playing Shared Spoils, I would get my Fizz. Shared Spoils actually worked out, and with the buffs between Shared Spoils and STARLITSEER, I managed to get 8/7 Fizz. I quickly realized that I had lethal with Dragon's Rage. And that pretty much was a wrap. One deck I've actually had a lot of success with that I made with STARLITSEER is this Fiora Braum deck. It revolves around cards like Omen Hawk, STARLITSEER, and Shared Spoils to buff up your Fiora and Braum, which I think both benefit a lot from being buffed up. Fiora, so she has more survivability and she can kill more stuff, and so Braum can actually kill stuff and survive even longer since he has regeneration. The rest of the deck revolves around basically protection cards and Entreat. I think Entreat's really strong when you're running champions where their spells can benefit them on demand. So with Braum and Fiora, both their spells basically buff the champion. So you have Riposte and Take Heart. They both basically make your champion a lot harder to kill. So if you can play Entreat and you already have the champion, it's even better because you have a automatic draw save my champion in a way. And as you can see, I think STARLITSEER synergizes with a lot of different cards and champions in the game. Like I went over Fiora and Braum, Entreat, and their spells. He also synergizes with Teemo and Fizz, which we talked about. Teemo because the Puffcat Peddler, and Fizz just because Fizz can literally be unkillable in your deck, and if he's buffed up, that's even stronger. I think he also has synergies with Twisted Fate, like I think there's some slot bot decks that are running him, and I even see potential in him for Lee Sin. But not only that, I think STARLITSEER has a lot of potential in the future, especially with the new regions and cards coming out. I think a great example of this is the upcoming release of Targon, and I think cards like Gem, which is the 1 mana burst, heal an ally 1 and grant it +1/+0, can't be cast in combat or in response to a spell, is a very strong card alongside STARLITSEER because it's so cheap and it has a pretty good effect. But not only that, you can play it with other cards that create gems, so you can constantly have gems to keep playing along with your Seer or your other cards. So like here with Gift Giver and Mountain Goat, when Gift Giver's summon, she creates a gem in hand, and Mountain Goat creates gem in hand when you strike. Or even with Shards of the Mountain, fill your hands with gems. So imagine you have STARLITSEER, you fill your hand with gems, you cast all those gems, and then the next turn, whatever you draw is a huge threat. Also, this Mentor of Stones cards is good as well. Last breath, create 3 gems in hand. So I think with the release of Targon, there's going to be a lot of potential for STARLITSEER, including the fact that Gift Giver and Mentor of Stones is a perfect curve for STARLITSEER. You got 1 mana, your 2 mana, your 3 mana. You even do your Shards of the Mountain, that's 4 mana. I think in the future, STARLITSEER has nowhere but to go up. For conclusion, I think STARLITSEER is an amazing card that has a lot of potential in many different decks. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you would like to see more from my channel. Also guys, if you enjoyed this kind of video, make sure to go down to the comments and let me know what card to do next. Thanks so much for watching guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.